Hi everybody, my name is Ben Sondgeroth and I am really excited to partner with Cook County Higher Education to provide some tips and tricks and strategies for helping your students get through this time of remote learning and distance learning. What I'm going to provide over the course of the next couple of videos and then some other recorded webinars is just some really good ways that you can help maximize the remote learning environment for your students. It's a very challenging time and we want to make sure that we provide you with as many ideas as possible with how to make this go as smoothly as it possibly can. So in this video, we're actually going to look at kind of the inner workings of the Chromebook and how your student and you as a parent will be able to help make this experience of learning from home as good as it possibly can be. So I've got lots of tips and lots of strategies for where things are and how things work on the Chromebook. So sit tight and enjoy this video. All right, everybody, let's talk about what's on the main screen of your Chromebook. So I'm actually in the Chrome browser right now. You can see that the Chrome icon, which is down in what's called the shelf, which is the black part of the bottom of your screen, that means that I'm inside of Chrome. You can kind of tell that with that little white line that you can see underneath of it. And what that means is that it launches the Chrome window. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that so we can just kind of look around here and see what we've got. So your Chromebook, what you're doing is you're really only accessing Chrome, which is Google's operating system. So it's also a web browser that you can use on your computer, your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, all of that, but it's also the operating system that powers the Chromebook. And so that means Chrome is what we're going to use for all of our work on a Chromebook. However, there are some differences between using Chrome on a Chromebook and using Chrome on your regular computer. And that's going to come down to some of the stuff in the bottom part of this, of the Chromebook. So you can see here, we have what's called the shelf. And the shelf is where any app that you have open is going to appear down here. So for example, if I want to open up an app, I'm actually going to go over to the launcher, which is the circle in the left-hand corner. When I open up the launcher, I'm going to be able to search my device for different applications that maybe your school has pushed out, or also just find Chrome. So in our case, maybe we want to find Google Classroom. We can just search in here for Classroom, and we should see Google Classroom pop up. When I click on that, now it's going to take me directly to the website for Google Classroom. So you can see, using the launcher can get us quickly to websites or apps that we have pushed out to us. So I'm going to show you something else in the launcher that's really important. When you open up the launcher, you're also going to want to search for a window called Files. Okay, and you can do that if it doesn't show up right away like it does here. You can search for Files, and if you just type in that word there, the Files icon should pop up. And when you select that, that'll open up this new window. And why this window is important is because it gives you access to anything that you have downloaded. So if a teacher asks you to download something, or you have to stumble across a website that you like and you download a file from it, this is how you locate that file. So again, you would go to the launcher, type in Files, and then you should pop up this window and you can select Downloads. That'll show you any downloaded files that you have. This window will also give you quick access to any pictures that you take with your Chromebook, videos that you take with your Chromebook, or any audio that you have downloaded recently. It also gives you access into your Google Drive. So if you needed to quickly find something in your Google Drive and you weren't in a Chrome window, you can click on Google Drive and all of your Google Drive files and folders will pop up here. If you download something, this is an opportunity for you to also take it out of your Downloads file window and pull it and drag and drop it into your Google Drive, which will then upload it to the cloud, and it would be accessible from any other device that you are using and you're signed into Google with. Another really important key feature of this is utilizing the shelf to access the files quickly and efficiently. So I'm going to show you a little tip here. What I'd like you to do is when you do have your Files window open, you can go down and find the Files icon. When you right-click on the Files icon, and that can be done with a mouse if you've got that attached, or your trackpad, it's a 2-finger tap. And when you tap with 2 fingers on the trackpad, you should see this window pop up, and you'll see the option to pin it. When you pin it, the files icon will now always remain in your shelf. You can do this with anything that populates in the shelf. If you see an icon down here, you can right click on it, pin it, and that will just give you a shortcut to access that window or that website or that app that much quicker. So you can see if I close out my files window here, I'm able to still have the files icon here that I can now click on and get to quickly. So that will prevent you from having to go over to the launcher and search for it every time you want to access the files window. So a quick tip that's super helpful. So an important factor of getting your Chromebook up and going is making sure you can connect it to different internet sources. So to make sure your internet is on and connected, you're going to look down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and you should see this little icon down here that has a little kind of diamond to it. And when you click on that, that's going to open up your settings area, kind of your preview of settings area. You can see it's currently telling me that I'm sharing my screen for the screen recording that I'm creating. But this is also where you're going to be able to click on and see the different Wi-Fi networks that are available to you. So if you want to click on that, you're now going to see all the different wireless internet access points that are showing up. So you see where I'm at, I've got quite a few that I could connect to if I knew their passwords. This is also where if you're using a hotspot, your hotspot will show up here. So if I had my phone turned on as a hotspot, I would use this area to connect to that hotspot. So that's how we're going to connect to different internet networks. Now, settings is going to be an area that you're probably not going to need to know much about or worry much about, but one setting is maybe using Bluetooth. So right now I'm actually using a Bluetooth mouse, so it's just a little bit easier for me to manipulate as opposed to using the trackpad. What I can do to find a Bluetooth device is go into this area here, and then you should see a Bluetooth option. When you select that, it'll now open up a window, and it's going to be looking for different devices that are set into pairing mode. So this is where you can attach Bluetooth headphones or a Bluetooth mouse, as you can see here. And if you have a device that's set for pairing, it'll show up in this area and you can click connect. If you want a little different view, you can always click the little settings icon here, and that'll open up your settings window. And inside of the settings window, it might give you an opportunity to kind of see that in a little bit bigger area, and it might make it just a bit easier perhaps to connect to Bluetooth devices. So those are just a few of the options that you're going to need when you're looking down here. And I think some of the stuff that you're really going to have to focus on when you are using your Chromebook. All right, so now let's look at some of the features of Chrome that'll make your experience using the Chromebook that much better. Okay, the first thing is actually when we open up a new tab in Chrome. Okay, so you can see I'm on the CCHE's website here, but I'm going to open up a new tab, and I do that by hitting the plus sign in the top corner of your screen. And when you do that, you get a blank window, and now you can do everything from search Google or type in a URL to go to a specific place. Let's talk about tabs first. They're really important in your organization of using Google Chrome, though, because you can see if I want to go back to the Cook County's higher education website, I can just click on the tab and go there, but I can also jump to this other new tab to type in a website that I want to go to. So that's a super helpful thing where I can jump between tabs. Now I want to say this, you want to make sure you don't have too many tabs open. The more tabs you have open, the slower your Chromebook will actually run. So kind of try to keep that to as limited amount of tabs as possible, but it is really nice to have multiple tabs open at any given time. Now, something to keep in mind, when you want to do a Google search, you can actually just type your Google search in this box here. And this is actually called your Omnibox. Okay, so that means that it can do pretty much anything. So that's pretty great. So if I wanted to actually click on this and then do a Google search, so I'll do a Google search for, say, Lake Superior. And you can see that it's doing a search here, and I can simply click on Lake Superior Google search. And now I'm taken to a Google search on Lake Superior. And this is really nice because you don't have to type in google.com. You can just open up a new tab and start searching for anything in particular. So like we can search for the University of Minnesota, and it'll pop up, and I can do University of same thing. We got it. University of Minnesota, and Twin Cities comes up, but you can see I can just do a Google search and I get that Google search up there. So it's pretty great for us to be able to utilize the Omnibox to do searches without having to go to google.com to perform those searches. So another thing that is really awesome about Chrome is that it allows you to organize your world with bookmarks. And I think bookmarking is really important to help keep you in the right place, going to things fast and quickly and easily. So in this case, we're going to use a demonstration of going to Google Classroom. So one of the big benefits of Google Chrome is that it remembers things and where you've been, and you can also use what's called bookmarking to make your experience that much easier to get from place to place and things and websites that you frequent. So I know many of you are going to be using Google Classroom, and some of you are going to be using SeeSaw. We can leverage bookmarking to make our experience getting to those two websites a quicker and easier experience for all. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up a new tab. And when I open a new tab up, I'm able to go and find Google Classroom. And I do that by going to my waffle. And so when I go to my waffle, I actually have access to all of my different Google apps that the school has pushed out to me. So this is a quick way, again, to go to Gmail, go to your Google Drive, go to Google Sheets if you want to go a shortcut there, or your Google Calendar. You can see lots of different places I can go, including Google Classroom. So I'm going to select Google Classroom, and when I do that, it's going to take me right to the Google Classroom page. Now, what I want to show you is that when you're inside of this is your Google Classroom dashboard. And there'll be another recording that goes into more detail on how to access Google Classroom. But the big thing I want to bring out of this is to use this little star. You can see the star here. And what you're going to do with the star is you're going to select that, and it's going to allow you to bookmark this page. And when you bookmark it, you can give it a name, and then the folder that you're going to put it into is you're actually going to choose the Bookmarks bar. And when you select the Bookmarks bar, and then you can say it's classes, that's fine because this is your class dashboard, we're going to hit done. And when we do that, the star is now blue, and then in my Bookmarks bar here, you're going to see I now have a bookmark that says classes. So that means that if I open up a new tab and I want to get to Google Classroom quickly, all I have to do is find that bookmark there, click on it, and it's going to take me right to Google Classroom. Now, the same thing can be said about SeeSaw. So I'm going to open up another new tab, and this time I'm going to go to SeeSaw. And when I go to SeeSaw, it'll ask me to log in. And I'm going to log in, and I'll click log in, and I'll log in as a student. And when you log in as a student, that's going to now prompt you to log in however your school has asked you to do it. So that might be through your Google account, that could be through class code. That's an individual student situation. But when you select that, you can click sign in with Google, and then it'll take you right directly to your class. And again, we'll go over this all in detail in the SeeSaw webinar. And if you haven't watched that yet, it's going to be recorded and available to you on demand. So you can see this is going to be, I have to enter a code. I don't have a code yet, but the point here is that I can actually select the bookmark. So once I get into my class, I can select the bookmark. I can bookmark SeeSaw, add it to my bookmarks bar. And then now if I need to get to SeeSaw, I can click on it and go. So once you're in your class, this is a quick way for you to be able to bookmark SeeSaw and get to it quickly and efficiently. Now you might be wondering, what if I don't have the bookmarks bar there? Well, you need to find the bookmarks bar and turn it on. And you do that by going to the three dots in the top right corner of your screen. When you go to those three dots, you're now going to go down and find bookmarks. And then when you're at bookmarks, go over and make sure you have the show bookmarks bar option checked. If it's unchecked, it'll look like this. So you won't see a bookmarks bar. But when you go to those three dots again, go to bookmarks, show bookmarks bar. Now you're able to see your bookmarks bar and all of the bookmarks that you have added. So utilizing bookmarks in Google Chrome is super important, and it's very effective in making sure your Google Chrome experience is second to none. All right. So another thing that Google Chrome does is allow you to have extensions. And Chrome extensions are different than what you might consider an app on your phone, but they do kind of do some things that are similar. So a Chrome extension is a program that is attached to Chrome, and it literally extends the power of Chrome, hence the word extension. So if your teachers or your school has pushed out Chrome extensions to you, you'll see them up in the extensions toolbar area here. And so you can see I have several different Chrome extensions that I use and that I use on a daily basis. That's a whole nother conversation as to what are good and what are bad, but I just want to make sure you see there that this is where they're at. So if you need to use an extension, it'll show up here. If you don't see the icon and your teacher says, go to the Chrome extension and click on it, what you're going to want to do is look for that puzzle piece. This puzzle piece here will show you all of the different extensions that you have attached to your Chrome profile. And if you don't see one, it might have the pin unmarked. So you can see I unmarked the quick QR code generator and it disappeared from my extensions bar. But when I select the pin, it now comes back and I'm able to use it. So just something that you want to be aware of, that if you don't see the extension that you need, you want to click the puzzle piece and then you'll be able to see the different extensions and you can either pin them or unpin them depending on your needs. So that's where your Chrome extensions live, and Chrome extensions are a great way to utilize some different tools that integrate directly with Google Chrome. All right, so for this part, we want to look at where can we find common tools that you're going to use while using your Chromebook. So the first one is, where can we locate Google Drive? We already talked about that in a previous segment of the video, but I just want to highlight it again. So to find Google Drive, you can click on the New tab, and then from here, you're going to look for your waffle in the top right-hand corner, and then you're going to select that, and that's going to give you access to all of those Google tools. So when I go into my Google Drive, I'm now going to be able to find any documents that I've created or need to create, and they will all load here. Okay, when I want to create something new in Google Drive, I'm going to use the New button on the left-hand side. And when I open that up, that's going to actually give me the ability now to create folders for organization in my Google Drive, create a new Google Doc, a new Google spreadsheet, a new Google slideshow, but then also you can go to your More tab and you can see some of the other things that you're able to create, including a Google drawing, which some of your teachers may have you do. So this is where we're going to find our Google Drive. You can also go down to the launcher and you can search for Drive in here, and that's going to actually open it up that way as well. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can actually access your Google Drive. Okay, and then that's where you're going to create from. So then as far as Classroom and SeeSaw go, again, you're going to be just leveraging new tabs, leveraging either the app launcher in this side or your launcher down in the bottom of the screen, and search for Classroom that way. You'll notice that as you start typing these things in and searching for different web applications or websites, your previously used ones that you use more than any will show up here. So like as I continue to access files, Google Drive and Google Classroom, they should show up right here for you. So that's how we're going to best access those different programs. So one of the things we haven't hit on yet is how can we leverage the camera for sharing information with our teacher. So perhaps you handwrite something and you want to send it to your teacher and you want to take a picture of it and submit it. You're actually going to go down to the launcher again. And then when you go to the launcher, you're just going to search for camera. And that's going to pop open the camera and allow you to engage with the camera. So, hi, there I am. And from here, you can take videos, photos, and then those will save into your downloads area or into the media area of your file section. So I'll take a picture right now and show you what that looks like. So it snapped a photo. Now I can close the camera out, go to my Files tab, and I should be able to find it in the Images area here. There it is. See, it was taken today. Double click on that, and that'll give me my picture. So that's now in the Downloads area or in the Images area here. And if you were submitting that in through Google Classroom, you'll be able to add it as a file in Google Classroom. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope you found the information helpful and you're going to be able to start the school year off on the right foot utilizing your Chromebook. I want to take a minute to recognize Cook County Higher Education for making this video possible. You can reach them at any of the contact means that are listed here on the video at the moment. So again, thank you all for watching. Good luck as you start the school year, and if you ever need anything, please reach out and find me at exploringedtech.com. This is Ben Sondgeroth, and have a great day.